I might be introducing you into something important.
Okay.
But in 2021, there was a Cinderella movie starring Camila Cabello and Nicholas Galitzine.
Of course I watched it.
Do you remember how Billy Porter was the fairy godmother?
That movie was a mess in every which way, shape, and form.
But his outfit, why was he wearing like sparkly gold pants and then like a trench coat?
That movie was insane.
I remember that the other day and I started crying. I was like, oh my god. I can't believe this is real. We need to bring back 2021 woke back. I know it gave us that, unfortunately, but like, that's how the culture used to be. And I remember gagging for Billy Porter as the fairy godmother in 2021.
The outfit?
Why the outfit?
Yeah.
Okay, anyways. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of A Literary Tasting. My name is Jessica.
My name is Annie.
Every week on A Literary Tasting, we have a book. We read a book, we have a drink, and most importantly, we complain.
Yeah.
Now, we love to suffer.
I choose it.
As historically documented, we love to suffer. So this week we're reading The Score by Elle Kennedy. Now, this is the third in the series of the Off-Campus series.
Mm-hmm.
The show just came out like 2 weeks ago or whatever it was. And you were quite taken with the show.
Currently.
She loved
Currently
it.
taken.
She loved it. Dean and Allie really stole the show, unfortunately,
They
for
so did.
everybody else. We decided, fuck it.
Who the fuck cares about Logan's book?
I think you better watch your mouth. They're gonna come for you. I didn't say anything about Logan.
Well,
I was just there.
Hold on. Here's the thing. This is why I was so enraptured. Because if you watched our last video, which you should pause this and go watch that, you could see that our opinions, I would venture, were pretty low of the book. And I didn't have high hopes for the show. Now, was the show fan-fucking-tastic?
You loved it.
Can you let me finish? Can you let me finish? Was the show fan-fucking-tastic? Absolutely not. The entire plot line with her and the singing was so hard to watch. However, I was so enraptured by their beauty that it really, painted everything. I was wearing rose-colored glasses. I've watched it, 3 times now, and I'll probably watch it a 4th.
By, everybody's beauty, or just, anybody in particular?
Pretty much everyone's beauty.
Everyone. A good-looking group of people.
Everyone was looking good.
It was kind of in the same vein as Pretty Little Liars, where it's, number one priority on the casting was you gotta
everyone has to be hot.
Yeah. The acting can come. We'll deal with that later, babe.
Oh, and they succeeded. And I feel like they made a lot of necessary changes to make them not insufferable characters and not super misogynistic and all the changes that needed to be made in order for people to watch it and enjoy it. Therefore, I watched and entirely enjoyed. That being said, Logan, Boots looking good. But I don't want to read his book. And when we started the score, and we didn't. And when we started the score, I DNF'd it immediately after 4 chapters. I was like, I can't fucking read this slot. But I decided to be a big girl and suffer for the pod.
And then I ended up not finishing it.
Imagine that.
So I kept that to myself for a long time, as long as I could. Because the amount of chemistry that Dean and Allie have on the show, that scene
out of this world.
Of them. That scene of them when they're in the costume.
This is what I'm saying.
When they're in the fumes.
This is what I'm saying. It's not like I'm watching Game of Thrones, right? Have you seen Game of Thrones?
I think this was better than Game of Thrones, I would venture to say.
Interesting.
I've never seen it.
Okay. There's no Game of Thrones, right? Game of Thrones is Game of Thrones. But, I really enjoyed watching it.
Hey,
really, truly.
They put on a show.
The chemistry that some of the characters had, them in particular. And also, it seems, they've announced that the next season's going to be around Dean and Allie. So, again, I don't need to figure out what's going on in Logan's book. I think his girl is coming up in the next season, but that's not my priority, and it never
We'll
was.
watch next season, but we're not going to read the book.
No, because the next season's gonna be predominantly about Dean and Allie. But we'll get into that because, well, a lot of these scenes that were in this book were already in the first season. So
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm sure there's more Dean and Allie to be had.
Oh no, I mean, obviously they're gonna have to, create some new stuff, and there's stuff to be explored from this content also. But a lot of the scenes were already there, so I'm interested to see where it goes. Because there were a lot of changes. For the better, I would say. Anyway.
I don't think we're going to stop talking about the show. So, if you never fear, there's always more to say.
Yeah.
Give me a ranking of the boys. I just want to get that out of the way. I have to know.
Okay. So the number one, and I'm really eating my words from last time because I was like, the fuck? Garrett, number one spot. Yeah, number one spot. I don't think, like, the psychosis that you went through with Heated Rivalry, I'm currently in it with this.
Wow.
Yeah. I really texted our other friend the other day and I was like, I'm really understanding Jesse's psychosis.
And I was getting abused. I was getting bullied for my psychosis. Imagine you're really going through something serious and your friends are like, shut up about Ilya, and I'm like, I physically fucking can't stop.
That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, and
I'm constantly like, when I'm at school, I'm like,
no, genuinely, sometimes, we're getting really off topic now, but sometimes, like, if I have a hard day at work, like, I'll open Heated Rivalry and read, like, a few of my favorite Ilya lines, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put this back down and I'm gonna just go about my day. I'll open up TikTok and watch 7 edits.
So I told myself in order to, because I only have a month of my summer semester left, pretty much, until I'm done the last week of June. I told myself I am not allowed to watch the show again until I am finished with this month of school so I can get through it. And then my treat, my little reward, is going to be watching the show again, even though I've seen it already 4 times.
I don't think I've seen Heated Rivalry that much. To be fair, I cannot watch Heated Rivalry anymore. I've read the book. I've read the book an insane amount of times at this point. But the show, I can't look at that.
I told myself, I was like, you get to watch it as your little treat and then you're done. You're done. No more. No more. So anyways, it's Garrett, then it's Dean, then it's... I think it's honestly a pretty even tie between Logan and Tucker. They're like 3-4 for me, both of them.
I agree. Not with the order, but I agree. I like Dean is number 1, and then Logan and Tucker I think are tied.
They're tied, right? They're like the same je ne sais quoi.
Because Tucker doesn't really have like much of his own character in season 1.
But God is he hot.
Yeah.
If people have watched The Pit, oh my God. Every time he comes on the screen, I'm like, ugh.
And then Garrett is last for me. But
no.
What was the curl cream budget on that show? Everybody got perfect curls.
Everyone has a curly girl routine. Every single one of them. After them two, that's gonna go straight ahead to Hunter Davenport. Okay, right after Hunter Davenport, we're gonna go him with the number 6 spot with Bo Maxwell.
I didn't even know those were I didn't even know those were options.
I didn't know this was happening. Anyways, let's get into it. We'll keep talking about this throughout, but yeah.
All right. So just to set the mood, our main characters are Dean and Allie. Just to give you guys a refresher, if you live under a rock, seems like everybody's and their mother has seen this at this point. But
yeah,
Dean is a hockey player at Briar U. For his character description, I put whore, and he's randomly going to Harvard Law School, which like wasn't really discussed in book 1 at all. Like I came out of really far out of left field for me. I was like, what are we talking about now? And Allie, who's a theater student, she's kind of acting as a side gig. Like, she has an agent and everything. And she's going through a breakup with her long-term boyfriend, Sean. Like, that's how the book starts off. And we kind of got hints of it. Obviously, we haven't read Logan's book, but we got hints of it in Garrett's book. Yeah. And then Hannah and Garrett obviously pop up quite a bit. Mostly Hannah, because she's Hannah's best friend from the first book. It starts off with her breaking up with her long-term boyfriend, Sean, but we also find out that they've been together since like freshman year of college. It's their senior year now. They've been breaking up on and off for like years. Yeah. And they would break up for, you know, we all know the type. They break up for 2 weeks, get back together. A month later, they break up again, and they get back together. Yeah. So, to be fair to Sean, he's, like, not leaving her alone because he's like, well, we're obviously going to get back together and do the same thing every time. If I were Sean in this moment, I think I'd be pretty devastated. I'm not even going to lie. But they did break up for good reason. And he basically is like, well, obviously you're going to move to Vermont with me after graduation so I can work for my dad's insurance company or something like that. Yeah. And she's like, oh, but I want to act. I can't really do a lot of acting in Vermont. And he's like, no, like, during the summer, you can, like, act at, like, local, like, houses, like, playhouses. And she was like, acting's not a hobby. I want acting to be my career. Yeah. Like, this would have been a good answer, I think, if she was interested in continuing acting as a hobby. But, I mean, she's got an agent, baby.
Oh, yeah, girl. She's already done, like, a off-Broadway play or some shit. Like, no, this is my career. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you're sitting here taking it as a joke.
Also, Vermont. Like, we can't even compromise and say, like, what's an artsy city? Like, Chicago? Yeah. Like, it was still artsy, but it's, like,
oh, no, he said we're all going to Vermont to work at the insurance company. And Vermont is a beautiful place, don't get us wrong. That's not her dream, and you know that's not her dream, and you know that's not what she wants, and you've known her for this long, and you're saying this entire time I've been taking your, like, hopes and aspirations as a joke.
Yeah, and also my hopes and aspirations are also more important.
Yeah.
And, like, you should give up your whole life to be with me.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to expect any 21-year-old to do that.
Insane.
I mean, so young. The inciting incident, as you like to say, such a good word, was Sean is, like, threatening to show up at her dorm so that way they can talk. I say threatening, but it's threatening lightly, because obviously, like, she's not, like, afraid of him or anything. But he's like, I'm just gonna come over, we'll talk. Has that ever happened to you before?
Not a once.
No. Sean's starting to come over, so Hannah's like, why don't you just go stay at the disgusting frat house where Garrett, Dean, Logan, and Tucker live, and goddamn everybody in the fucking school lives in that house apparently.
Yeah.
Garrett's like, I'll text Dean, you know, you go stay over there, I'll tell Dean to not be a creepy pervert. Why are you friends with somebody you have to tell to not be a creepy pervert?
Let's start there.
But anyways,
Let's start there.
She gets there, and he's about to initiate a threesome with two random girls. These are just random girls. They come back up later, but only as sexual objects. And they're, like, making out without him? Like, wait, what's going on? I feel like it would have made a lot more sense if they were mid-threesome. But instead, they're just making out, and he's also there.
Yeah. He's just there.
You're a creepy pervert.
So this is where I put down the book the first time, because I got really pissed at the way, in his POV, he is describing this entire situation, at the way he's talking about the girls in this situation, and also the way he proceeds to interact with Allie. After being told to not be a creepy pervert, he proceeds to continue, and honestly, I feel like try even harder to be a creepy pervert the entire rest of the evening.
Yeah. He literally asked her for a like they sit on the couch, they watch a movie, he takes his shirt off for some reason, like
he continuously propositions sex to her and is like, well, you have to fuck me, and she's like, no, and he's like, well, please, and she's like, no, and he's like, if you're like,
what about a beach?
Yeah, and she's like, no, he's like, okay, a handy? No, bitch! Like, how many times do you want me to say no? Like, it's seriously, it's frustrating. I got so pissed off with it, because I was like, am I supposed to like him?
This coercion that's happening right now?
Am I supposed to read this pre the show coming out? If I had read this any time before 3 weeks ago, I would have been like, am I supposed to like this character? Because everything I like about him, I'm taking from the character that I have in my head from the TV show.
Right.
You know?
I think of him in that little costume that he was wearing, and I'm like, okay, it's better.
His Top Gun Maverick outfit.
It's like when I open up Heated Rivalry and I think of Ilya and I say, okay, it's better, it's better, it's better.
I had to keep reminding myself of who the real enemy is, El Kennedy, and not the actor who is...
It's better, it's better, it's better. It's better.
You guys, it's better.
Okay. Yeah, but he does, I was kind of, it's a bit curious because he's like, well, why don't we smoke and then have tequila, and then they have sex after, like, she must be pretty intoxicated at this point. And we know that, like, he was planning on being a creepy pervert to her from get-go.
Yeah.
So,
after
him being intoxicated doesn't really matter, because he wanted to sleep with her regardless. She only wants to sleep with him after, like, 7 shots of tequila.
And after a lot of coercion, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally is like, well, before we can even watch this movie, I have to go upstairs and give myself...
true.
And masturbate so that I can be okay to sit here, because you gave me blue balls, and you're not gonna fix it for me, so I guess I'll do it. And he goes upstairs, he comes back, and he's wearing the most low-slung, whorish, fucking gray sweatbands. I want to bomb the house. With him in it.
He acted this way in book 1, too. So
Yeah.
it's not like there's some character development where he, like, suddenly becomes less of a creepy pervert. No, he's a creepy pervert the whole time.
The entire time. But they fuck. And then they wake up in the morning, and she's like, oh, shit, I fucked him. And they have a really good chemistry, and they have, like, a really good night together.
We don't get to see it, it's closed door.
Yeah. But
we don't get to be creepy perverts.
Boo.
I hate that.
But then, she's basically, like, super embarrassed about it, and she's like, I'm not, like, a one-night stand girl, I'm a relationship girl, like, this is not in my character, I don't know what I was thinking, whatever. And he's like, round 7? Question mark? Go again? Question mark? And she's like, no, like, we're never gonna speak of this again, this is not happening, this is not a thing, forget this happened, don't tell anyone, ever. And he's like, beach?
He's like, best I can do is not tell anybody about it.
Best I can do.
Everything else...
off the table.
Yeah.
I will continue to pester you until we fuck again, and he does.
And he does. No, literally. We get, like, several chapters of him literally calling her phone. Calling her cellular device!
Yeah.
And by the way, this book was written in 2016, so he's on her iPhone.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I want to fuck you. Not even, like...
Those exact words.
Not even, like, I want to see you, like something polite or nice, or like also something that like would make her horny.
Yeah.
It's just, I want to fuck. Okay, what does that have to do with me?
Right.
And that's kind of what she says. She's like, you are the biggest whore on planet Earth. Go! Go!
Yeah.
Go away!
Yeah.
Like, I wonder why they didn't put that in the show. All of this is happening. Sean is also still having a tough time. Like she is really just getting harassed by these men left and right. Dean is on one end of the phone saying, I want to fuck you, and Sean is on the other end of the phone being like, when are we getting back together?
Yeah.
By the way, this is all like 3 days of the breakup.
Yeah.
And also, I do think it's funny though, she tells him she slept with someone. She doesn't tell him she slept with Dean, because I think Dean is like, I think she's like really deeply embarrassed about sleeping with Dean because he's such a fucking whore.
She's so embarrassed about it.
She's like, I fucked the town whore.
No, literally. And you know what? I want to say, we're using the word whore obviously like very loosely and like as a joke, but like Elle Kennedy was really trying to do like a, you know, sex positive, like, you know, it's okay to sleep around and like do whatever you want safely, which is 100% true. But like, I don't know if this was the way to go about it.
No, and actually, now that you brought it up, perfect segue, I get what you're saying, but also, like, I feel like a lot of, like, books from this time did this as well, like, after Springs to Mind.
Yeah.
But it's like, but all of her, like, at least Hannah and Allie, both of them were in committed relationships for, you know, a long period of time, because again, they're only like 20, so a year's a long time if you're 20, 3 years is a really long time if you're 22, so, but they're not sleeping around. It's always the guys that are sleeping around. I think it should be the other way around. When will somebody write that book?
Right.
Or they both sleep around and then they both find each other.
Yeah.
I don't think that counts as sex positive, because again, like, it's always a girl that maybe doesn't sleep around as much.
Yeah.
That's suddenly the person that they want to be with. It's like, what about you? You're the town whore.
Yeah.
You were propositioning for me for a beach.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, I would like this more if he was just like, because he constantly calls himself a slut and she calls him a slut, and it's just like, and he keeps being like, who gives a fuck? And I agree. Who gives a fuck? If you want to sleep with everyone, sleep with everyone. It kind of ruins the messaging for me when you make him also like a creepy pervert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ruins the messaging when like he is actually kind of a sexual assailant.
Yes. A deviant.
You're right, on most occasions.
Because like in Garrett's book, he's like literally like openly just like making out with half-naked women on the couch. And on top of that, also, like, I feel like Garrett was not a creepy pervert in his book. Like, I mean, he was not very classy. And like, he definitely said a lot of very objectifying things about women.
Yeah.
But he wasn't forcing his roommates to watch him make out with girls on the couch. And then we learn, well, we'll get to that later, but that was literally sexual, I'm just going to say it now and then I'll say it again later.
Yeah.
That was literally sexual harassment, because yes, he was absolutely getting off on the fact that his roommates were watching him.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And that's the difference, again, between this and the show, is that, like, yeah, like, in the show, they show Dean, like, kind of, like, being, like, having multiple sexual partners and, like, you know, just living freely and doing whatever he wants and not whatever. But also, he's not, it didn't come across that, like, when they have the first scene of them in the house, he's not, like, completely naked on the couch in front of everybody.
It's also kind of like a party situation, like, I mean, lots of people make out at parties, like, that's kind of different. Like, all your roommates are trying to study for their final exam that's tomorrow at 2 p.m. and you're sitting there half naked. Like, it's
you're
not
humping on the couch, naked, like, fully naked.
Not the place.
Right. So, again, changes that were quite necessary and much appreciated in the show. But, yeah, he's just a creepy pervert here, so.
Well, we'll take a break from him being a creepy pervert for just a minute. Because they do, remember, this is a hockey book. And I do feel like there's a lot of hockey in these books. Like, there's a lot of descriptions of plays and, like, them, like, talking about the plays. And I'm like, I really, truly, like...
Talking about something called a wrist shot. I was like,
when
okay.
When you describe a sports scene in a book, you might as well be speaking another language to me. My brain is...
It's like parcel tongue. I don't know.
It's dead silent in my brain when you're doing that. I'm not picturing anything. I'm not hearing what you're... like, literally, like... When is it over?
Yeah.
But Dean... More evidence of him being a creepy pervert. He gets called into the coach's office, and the coach... There's a new coach there, and the new coach is basically like, I think he's trying to say like he's putting him in second string. I really don't know. Again, I really, really don't know. But obviously some kind of punishment is going on here. And he's also like, I don't want you to be partying, no drinking, no drugs. Like, I want you to be a model student, especially for the younger kids on the team, because you're a senior now and you're taking these 18-year-olds out to bars and buying them alcohol. Totally reasonable to me. I was like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And also, I'm gonna volunteer you to coach these kids at like an elementary school. Just you, nobody else on the team, just you.
Yeah,
because
she
knows that Dean has absolutely no redeeming qualities. She's like, I really needed to give him.
I have to figure out a way to make him
seem
likable.
sweet. Yeah. And we find out that he has this complicated relationship with this new coach because of something that happened between a girl named Miranda and him. I don't need to hear the rest of the story. I'm sure you're going to tell me what the rest of the story is, but I don't give a fuck. I know whatever happened, I know he was in the wrong. And like, he gets his brother on the phone, and he's like, should I call Miranda and ask her to tell her dad to like chill? And the brother's like, she didn't bother to do it then, why would she do it now? What did you do? Something evil, I presume. Something evil or creepy and perverted.
Girl, I'll get there. I was
Beside yourself?
I was beside myself.
Yeah.
And maybe not in the way you think. We'll get there.
Ooh, okay, I'm intrigued now. And so there's a scene of him and, I believe it's Beau, and he's like talking about how he got propositioned by the two girls from the beginning of the book to have a literal orgy with him and Beau. First of all, the concept of engaging with an orgy with one of your friends, and then your friend being like, you got propositioned for an orgy and you didn't invite me?
You didn't tell me? We could be there right now.
Beau, let's relax, friend. Can you chill? Can you fucking chill out, please?
Why? What?
The concept of the orgy, I was beside myself when that happened as well. And I think it's also another good example of how this is like not a good example of sex positivity, because those girls pop up to fulfill, like, that is I don't want to say a wild sexual fantasy, but it's certainly not something that you typically come across in these romance novels. I'm sure there are, and that's fine. As long as you guys are all consenting adults, it doesn't matter. But these girls pop up, propose something that's pretty out of the ordinary, and then disappear.
Yeah.
Because they are there as sex objects for these boys and nothing else. So I don't think it's sex positive to like have your female main character be a girl with a body count of 2, including your male main character, and then your male main character is getting propositioned for a fucking orgy, and then his friend is pissed that he didn't invite him to the fucking orgy. That's
and
so
what I
funny.
and like the conversation, this scene is a scene that happened in the show, and the difference.
Really?
I think it was supposed to parallel that scene that he has with Beau, like near the very end, where he's like, I want to, like, I'm like fucking Allie, and I'm trying to fuck other girls, and it's not working. I really like her, and Beau's like, yeah, like, why wouldn't she like you? You're awesome, dude. Like, and she's really awesome too. Like, you guys make a great couple. You should tell her how you feel. This is basically the same conversation, except not. They have it in a very, very different way.
Yeah.
Using a Twilight metaphor and the term imprinting on her pussy. This was undigestible to me.
I do have to wonder, like, when the writers of the show read this, I wonder if they were like, oh, God. Like, I wonder if they were like, how? No, you tell me how to make this work. Ellie girl.
What do you have to say for yourself?
And this one, the last book the last book in the series that we talked about was written in 2013. This one is from 2016. There's no excuse, babe. No. And there's also another quote, while we're talking about quotes in this book that are crazy, there's this one quote, we both check out her ass when she turns around. I don't even feel pervy about it, you should, because she's pretty much inviting our appreciative glances by shaking that round bottom. I hate when she shakes that round bottom.
Shaking that round bottom.
Okay. A woman wrote that. A woman really wrote that in 2016. Girl, what do you have to say for yourself? Because at least the show gave us him in that Top Gun Maverick outfit. I had to remind you.
And it's so upsetting too, because in the show I really liked Beau. And when I read this, I was like,
Bo was nothing burger in the show for me. I didn't even realize he was there.
I liked Bo. He was sweet.
I genuinely, like, sometimes, like, if Dean and Allie weren't on my screen, I was like, I don't think I care that much. Also, where's Logan?
Good question.
And where's Tucker, for God's sakes?
Where's Tucker? Heavy on where's Tucker? He did not get the screen time he deserved, but that's besides the point.
They do have, like, one of their first, like, actual bonding moments, but again, remember, like, this, it's probably been a week at this point since they've had sex for the first time. He will not leave her alone, and he shows up at her apartment, shirtless, go figure, and she's like, I want to learn Spanish, so I'm watching these French soap operas so I can learn French. And he's like, what? He's like judgmental about it. I'm like, that's how a lot of people learn languages. So chill on her. And then she's like, no, like, sit down, you'll like it. And he is of course immediately enraptured. I will admit, for a minute there, I was like, this could go somewhere good. It didn't. But I did enjoy that scene. I love when men, like, especially like dads, when they're like, I don't want to watch this, like,
this dumbass show, and then they're like, they're standing in the room like this. So locked in. Me when I used to force my dad to watch Teen Wolf. He'd be sitting down there and I'd be like, I'm gonna put my show on. And he'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna read next to you. And then like 20 minutes in, like the iPad's been turned off. You know what I mean? He's like,
book still open in his lap.
Literally, he's holding his iPad and he's like, right, this shit is bussing.
Is it buzzing?
Yeah, Teen Wolf was buzzing.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah,
I thought for a minute there I was like, okay, like this could go somewhere, and then it doesn't. They meet up at, I guess, like what must be the only bar on the entire planet.
Yeah.
Because they meet up at this bar and he's like texting her under the table. Also, by the way, she's hanging out with her friend who's weirdly dating a 37-year-old. I was like, why do women only pop up as characters for her to mock?
Yeah.
And also, by the way, if you're 21, you probably shouldn't be dating a 37-year-old. That's gross. But, like, doesn't really have much to do with you. You're not gross for that. It's a 37-year-old that's gross and a creepy weirdo.
Yeah.
So why is Allie judging you? Allie should say he's a creepy weirdo, you shouldn't date a 37-year-old.
Right. But she's just like, that's weird.
Desperate?
Mind you, currently Dean is in her phone saying the nastiest shit to her under the table.
Yeah. No, literally. And also, while they're at the bar, this scene did make it into the show. I guess it's like a jukebox type situation.
Yeah.
And she plays Pink's You and Your Hand. I've never heard that song.
Really?
No, never heard that song. I heard it in the show and I was like, I don't know what this is, but okay. And then I was like, the concept of using a Pink song as a diss. Again, it's 2016, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little surprised to hear it in the show because that song was like really popular early 2000s. Like it was in She's the Man, which I remember it from.
Oh, okay, well then I've heard it for sure.
You definitely heard it. Like it was really, really popular and it was in a lot of like early 2000s movies and stuff. But like, that was early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess like when this book came out, this was a really popular scene that people liked, which is why they included it in the show, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, why would you specifically use that song again? You know? Mm. People must have really liked it, but I was surprised to hear it. However, that is a good 2000s banger, even though I'm not really a Pink fan. That song is kind of fun.
I can't stop thinking, Pink, get done.
What is that?
I don't want to see another quadruple backflip.
What are you talking about?
Where's my phone? I don't have my phone. Here, get on TikTok on the iPad.
Please.
Anyway. Also, interspersed throughout the book, these characters have the weirdest hills that they die on. Like, I think Dean arguing with the coach about, like, how he should be allowed to go out to the bar and drink, and how, like, the coach doesn't have a right to say that he shouldn't be providing alcohol to minors. And, like, Hannah in the first book, where she was like, I don't understand why this teacher wants me to pass her class.
Yeah.
Like, you're such a bitch. And in this one, she's like, I don't understand, like, I don't want to send him the tapes, my audition tapes for things. Yeah. Like, I don't know why he keeps getting me auditions for sitcoms. I don't want to do them. Then don't.
Yeah.
I was like, I assume this is a soft launch to say that she wants to go to Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I assume, that's what I figured. But I was like, okay, but, like, I think even people who act on Broadway aren't turning down auditions for sitcoms. Like, work is work, I think. And also, like, if this is your dream, you should want to do it in any form. Of course, like, if you're a real human being with real human feelings, obviously that's not what I'm saying. You should be grateful. But, like, this fictional character, like, it doesn't make me like her anymore to, like, watch her argue with her agent about doing the job that she wants to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, again, it's just a weird hill to die on. Like, a real person can complain about these things, but, like, your character, I feel like, maybe shouldn't. You know?
Yeah.
Like, if these are her hopes and dreams and aspirations, like, she should probably just have those, you know?
Yeah, and also it's like, if she doesn't want to do that, that's, like, fine, obviously. Like, if you have a preference, okay. But I imagine that, like, I mean, breaking into the acting, like, sphere is so hard. Probably want to do auditions just to, like, get your feet wet and try it and see what sticks and get your name out there and make connections anyway, right?
Yeah. Also, like, what is your... Like,
and if you don't want to do it, communicate that to your agent.
Well, and also, your agent is doing his job.
Yeah.
Like, getting your foot in the door.
Maybe you just need to have an honest conversation with him about what your needs and goals are.
And so she's just like, I don't want to.
Yeah. And he's like, girl, do it. Which
like,
would probably be my response if, you know, she was like, I don't want to.
Well, I mean,
either.
Yeah. But after the you and your hand situation, for some reason that really does it for both of them, and they decide to start having sex regularly again.
Yeah.
And their first sex scene after doing this is Hannah standing on the other side of the door being like, are you masturbating? Are you using your vibrator?
Hello?
Are you coming right now? Like, she stands there for so fucking long.
So
and again,
long.
I know it's because Dean, obviously they seem to mutually enjoy this together, so.
Yeah.
That, like, I get that. I understand, but I was just like.
The getting caught thing. Which I know is, like, a thing for people, but, like,
I've never
I was like, Hannah, beat it.
No, I've never had a roommate that wasn't related to me, but, like, I feel like it's one thing to, like, bother your friend when they're having sex, like, kind of funny. That's kind of funny. But, like, she assumes she's just masturbating. Girl, if I'm masturbating and you interrupt, you're cutting into my Ilya time.
Yeah, get out of here.
You need to go.
I'm having a very personal moment right now.
So
you need to leave me alone.
Yeah, like, that's so...
Don't speak to me.
You're ruining it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Ilya right now.
Would you like it if I bothered you while you were doing that? No?
Like, I feel like bothering them, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like having sex is, like, that's hee-hee kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, funny for everyone, kind of. Obviously, depending on your
Within
consent.
reason,
Yeah. But masturbating?
Yeah.
You think first of all, you think I'm such a loser that I'm in here masturbating by myself, and I don't even deserve to orgasm now?
Why would that make her a loser? People in relationships masturbate too. It's just like, why do you feel
I wouldn't know.
Hmm.
So the next scene is the infamous bathtub scene.
Mm-hmm.
She's like stressed from school, so he draws her a hot bath. Again, like, this should have been, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
Logan walks in again. Logan walks in on them, and she hides behind the door. And he's like, "Are you really embarrassed to be fucking the town whore? Why? Is it because of how creepy and pervy I've been to everyone throughout the entire series? Could that be it?" But during this, they use a sex toy, her vibrator, which I was like, okay, period.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty advanced for like I feel like a lot of college boys, they're children.
Yeah.
To me. A lot of college boys, like, would definitely be afraid to use that. So I was like, okay, let's destigmatize using a vibrator.
I can appreciate.
It wasn't enjoyable to read. But I can appreciate it.
I can appreciate it. Yeah. Again, going back to the show, the scene in the show was so much shorter. It was like a quick little snippet. I want more. Give me more of that. You know?
I was gonna say, well, what do you want them to do?
I would have loved it to be a longer scene because it was so quick. But because, like, reading it here was not, like, really enjoyable. You know what I mean? I feel like if they had fleshed it out more in the show, it would have been like, yeah,
Just like them talking.
Yeah, I don't know. Girl, I'm not the show writer. It's not my job. Figure that out.
Maybe they'll put it again in season 2.
I doubt it.
Get lucky.
I doubt it. But yeah, reading it as with every other scene that I'm now comparing, because obviously I watched it and then I'm reading it. As with all the other scenes that have happened already in the show, I was like, okay, well, that was disappointing.
Yeah, I also just think I'm not a big fan of this author's style of writing smut.
Yeah.
Like, I think she's, like, pretty vulgar about, like, the terms that she uses.
Yeah.
Like, I think she does a lot of telling rather than showing in terms of smut. Like, I feel like sometimes you can really paint a picture using less words and less vulgar words, especially. With her, it's like, she's, like...
It's honestly like a how vulgar can I get challenge.
Yeah, like she's using terms I never heard of before.
Yeah.
She also was like, I should peg you. What the hell? Sure.
Yeah. Sure.
What the hell? Sure. Why not?
Why not?
And then he's like, fuck no. And she's like, oh, you're homophobic. She's me. Something I would say.
Yeah.
Something I would say.
Oh, so you're homophobic.
That's gotta be it. And he reveals to her that he's kissed a boy in high school.
Yeah.
And he is a creepy weirdo though, because she reveals that she also kissed a girl in high school. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm hard as granite. Fuck. So you are a little homophobic then, I think. Granite! That's what he says. Or maybe he's so hard as steel, which I think is worse.
It's so dramatic. Calm down. Like, oh my god. It's just, that goes to the, like, fetishizing gay people, you know, lesbians in particular.
Yeah. That's why I was like, that's the thing, is I was like, so he kissed a boy in high school, big deal. He's weird about her kissing a girl in high school.
So it's not like ooh, it doesn't make you know what I mean?
It's not like casting Billy Porter as the fairy godmother. Nobody wants us to
Shut up!
After Logan walks in on them and he's like, are you embarrassed to be fucking the town perv? Is it because I'm whorish and pervish? You know, whatever.
Pervish.
And by the way, also I'm saying he's calling himself a pervert. He does not, nobody acknowledges the fact that he's a pervert. Nobody. Like, that's us acknowledging that.
Yeah.
But again, it's been 2 weeks since the first time they have sex, and they're like, we should just be exclusive. She just got out of a 3-year relationship. And I understand that, she clearly has not been in love with Sean for a long time, but I don't know, I was like, 2 weeks is crazy after a 3-year relationship. I feel like that meme of the cat where she's like, don't do it! Don't do it!
I understood it like we're exclusively fucking each other, not like we're exclusive like a couple yet. Mm-hmm. Just like, don't fuck anyone else while you're fucking me.
Just seems like it's a slippery slope to me.
I mean, it is. It is.
And
100%.
It was.
And it was. But I thought like, okay, this is not
You didn't think anything of it?
I didn't think anything of it because I was like, okay, if that was me, I'd also probably be like, if I'm gonna be having a fling or having sex with someone regularly,
you can't go around being the town perv.
I prefer you not be being pervish, as you said. So
you have to stop being the town perv if we're gonna fuck.
Please. It's just my one request.
She has like a rough day at she's being mean to some girl at school, and that's too much. That's exhausting for her. So she texts Dean, and she's like, "Where you at? Like, I want to fuck." No, she's like. She doesn't really. She's like, I had a hard day, like, I want to see you. And she immediately is like, ugh.
He's not your boyfriend, girl. You can't say stuff like that to him.
Well, to be fair, you can't. They will leave.
It's true.
They will leave. No, actually, they won't leave. They'll just say something horrifically mean in response, and then 2 days later be like, do you want to fuck?
Yeah.
She was actually right.
No, like, I guess with hindsight, in my mind, I was like, girl, of course wants to hear from you. Like, you shut the fuck up. But you're right. Actually, if this was any other situation...
A rational fear, if you will.
Yeah.
So then she calls Hannah, and she's like, Dean's not answering the phone. Like, she says that in her inner monologue. And then to Hannah, she's like, do you know where the boys are at? Especially maybe, like, the blonde one?
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know where the blonde one... Do you know? But Hannah's like, yeah, we're all at the bar. He's making out with some girl.
And then she starts running like the cop in Sunny with a Chance with Meatballs. I know that clip. Oh. She hightails it.
Yeah. Which, it's so, I can't imagine the feeling that she was feeling in that moment. Like, I would have been on a fucking rampage. We just not 2 seconds ago said we were gonna be exclusive.
Yeah.
You know that you're the town perv.
We didn't mention that Hannah says, like, there's a girl, like, trying to suck his face off, basically. Mm-hmm. And she's like... So then she, like, beats her face with the gauze.
She puts on a blue bandage dress, obviously. I need to Google what a bandage dress is
I have something in my mind.
I hear they're coming back.
Really?
I'm not letting them come back.
Not for me. Not for me, they're not.
So anyway, she puts on the hottest outfit she can possibly imagine, which is a bandage dress, I guess.
Mini blue bandage dress. I think she mentioned it was like a tube top.
Yeah, and she's got her push-up bra on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boobs to the sky, hair looking really cute, makeup tea. Like, she comes, and she shows up, like, looking amazing.
She did not come to play.
Yeah.
And she tries to go to the bar, and 3 guys offer to buy her a drink.
They're all at the bar, like, sticking out their $20 bill.
You don't have to hit me where it hurts.
I have never.
No, it's never happened to me. Not even slightly has that happened to me. In fact, I've asked guys to buy me a drink, and they said, no. I've asked guys if I could buy them a drink, and they've said, no.
Why are you offering to buy men a beverage?
I mean, you can guess who I was with.
Okay. We'll leave it there.
But he sees her in her blue bandage dress, and her, like, he's like, that's obviously for me.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
And all the men at the bar are, again, like, sweating buckets of sweat to try to get her this drink so they can, you know, talk to her. And Dean is just, like, following, like, she's just running laps around the bar, trying to get away from Dean, literally. He's just following her around, chasing her around the bar.
Yeah. And
finally, she's just like, fuck it, like, I'm leaving. Like, I don't know why I even came here. Like, I'm wearing a fucking bandage dress. Like, I need to leave.
To Malone's dive bar.
Oh, God. Everybody else is wearing Air Force Ones, mind you.
Yeah.
She's wearing stilettos. Oh,
Yeah.
I have been there. Oh, twinning them. I have been there.
Oh, twin. I've been there.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
And I'll be there next weekend. So, that's fine. And Dean is just, like, following her around being like, what's the problem? What's the problem? Like, you know you were being the town perv, like, not 3 seconds ago. Like, I don't know why he's acting dumb.
And he's like, she was trying to kiss me. I was not trying to kiss her back.
So was
you were just letting her suck on your
I was
neck.
gonna say, so was she trying to kiss you, or did she kiss you?
Right.
He doesn't seem to have a clear
she's
cut
like
answer.
licking your neck.
Ew.
And is that
and
okay
you're just,
when we're... Right, you're just letting it happen? Does that feel like it would be okay with me?
Would you be okay with it?
Just because you're not reciprocating, it's fine?
No, and the thing is he wouldn't, because he's also like, do you think I like seeing all the guys looking at you? Okay, so you don't even want guys looking at me, but she can lick your neck.
Like, literally what? She can lick your neck, but I can't leave my house.
They go outside to argue out on the street, and while they're outside, I assume they must be like in an alley or something. And he pushes her up against the wall and is like, "Oh, so you're jealous? We can just fuck, problem solved."
Easy. We'll just fuck. And they do.
And they do. And you know what? Let me sit my stupid ass down. Because at the beginning, I didn't make a joke at the beginning of the video, so I'm gonna make it now. When I first read that orgy am I saying that word right?
Orgy?
Does it matter? Whatever. When the propositioning was going on at the beginning of the book, I texted you and I said, this just doesn't feel very sex positive because these girls are only used to proposition this orgy and then they disappear, and like none of the actual main characters ever engage in anything quite so
sexually adventurous.
Yeah. And then I said, if you're really gonna be sexually adventurous, you better put Garrett and Hannah and Dean and the other one in an orgy right fucking now. If you're really about it, put them in an orgy. You won't.
Right.
But then I said, let me sit my stupid ass down. Because that's pretty sexually adventurous. Having sex in an alley in public.
Having sex in an alley,
And they both last like 3 pumps. Period.
I know you didn't just say 3 pumps.
That's what he said.
I know you didn't just say 3 pumps.
That's what he said!
Oh my god. Also, like, guys, come off it. 3 pumps, and you're both, like...
I mean, considering how badly Dean has wanted to have sex, like, in public... like, this is fulfilling...
But for her, she's coming... I would say of all...
That'd be pretty crazy style.
Yeah. Because I'm reading a... crazy style. Because I'm reading a book. I feel like this, of all the scenes, I was like, okay, this is the one I probably liked the most. Because it was like...
Oh, I thought you were going to say like the least. I was going to say...
No, like the most. Because it was like...
That's a real fantasy.
Yeah, that's like a fantasy moment.
She heard me in 2026 say, put them in an orgy together if you're really about it.
Then she went back in time.
Yes, and she said, okay.
Yeah, she said, just you fucking wait.
She said, you won't call me not sex positive ever again. And I won't. No, yes, I will. I will call you not sex positive. But that's the thing, is like, this should have been so hot to me. And instead, because she's so vulgar.
Yeah.
And so misogynistic that I'm like, it's a nothing burger.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, it's like, probably the one I enjoyed the most, and still I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
Like,
if this were Ilya and Shane, I would genuinely just have to send myself into a mental institution. What if this is in season 2?
I was just thinking that, but I was like, keep that thought inside.
We don't want to like disrupt the universe.
Yeah, like, I'm just gonna let the cards go as they may, you know what I mean?
She meets up with Sean for coffee the next day, and he's basically like, so the solution to me wanting you to give up your entire life for me, I'll just give up my entire life for you. And she's like, no. No.
How about no?
Go, Illy.
Pulling up with 2 fucking tickets to go to LA.
Also,
Ain't nobody asked you to do that.
Also, like, again, you're taking my autonomy out of my hands again.
Yeah.
Let me book the flight.
Right.
Like, let me make the decision to invite you. You're inviting yourself.
Right. I never told you I wanted specifically to go to LA. I have not even made that decision yet.
Girl, I don't have an apartment. Where are we flying to?
Right. We're just going to LAX with a dream. Like, no, we're not doing that.
We'll just sleep on Hollywood Boulevard. It's fine.
We'll just sleep on the Hollywood Stars of Fame. What the fuck is that called?
I did think this was, like, an interesting conversation about, like, relationships that, like, are maybe not built to last when you're that age. Or not even when you're that age, but maybe when you just, like, don't have yourself quite so figured out yet. Because Sean is like, to be honest, I don't even know what I want to do. Like, I could, frankly, like, I could go to Vermont and work for my dad's insurance company. I could go to LA with you, and I could find happiness either place. But it's like, but ultimately, no, it has to be your decision. It can't be based on somebody else.
Yeah.
Because you don't know yourself well enough to be making that kind of decision right now. And Allie is not in a position to be a girlfriend right now because she wants to put herself first.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling she's not going to do that. But I was like, this is an interesting conversation. I was like, okay, period. And she's going to ruin it, I'm sure.
Well,
but she finally does tell Sean to, like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, it's come off it, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Like,
we're done. Just like, does this have to do with the guy that you're fucking? Or the guy you fucked?
Yeah.
She's like, mind you, they're talking at the table and she's
texting him at the table,
actively texting Dean. And
she's like, this shit sucks, I hate him.
She's waiting for him to respond. And Sean's talking to her. I was like, girl. She didn't give a fuck.
She was fed up.
Yeah.
Well, and to be fair, like, she's been fed up for 2 weeks, and she's been telling you the same thing. Like, now she's going into a little bit more detail about why she's feeling the way she's feeling, but you knew how she was feeling the second you said, go to Vermont with me.
Yeah.
Like, you were fucked the second you said that, and you knew it.
Yeah.
You knew it, too.
Don't play.
And also, by the way, he's also been texting her this whole time, like, photos of them, like, trying to guilt trip her into saying, like, girl, I just had sex outside a bar. You done for.
Yeah, it's never gonna be us.
No, like, it was never gonna be you, so.
It's never gonna be you. Well, because of this conversation because Allie's texting Dean during this, and she says, like, oh, I'm getting coffee with Sean right now, having the worst time ever, hate my life, whatever. Even though she says that, Dean is like, oh, they're getting back together. So he gets...
Well, to be fair, they do have the pattern of getting back together. Even though she didn't really like him all the other times they got back together, too.
Yeah. So,
to be fair to Dean.
Fair enough.
Not that we should ever be fair to the town perv.
So she basically, like, texts him, and then he doesn't respond. And then she texts him again later that night, and he doesn't respond. And then she continues to be like, I text him good night, I text him good morning, I text him how are you? And I was like, okay, girl, okay. Like, let it lie now.
Right.
And eventually she does let it lie, but she's like, what the fuck? So then she goes on Twitter, and she's, like, trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. She knows they have a game that night. She goes to some person's, like, live updates account for the games, which is Giving Jules.
Yeah.
Was Giving Jules for sure, but, like, there was no name attached to the character.
We didn't need that character created, I don't think.
But basically sees an update saying that Dean got ejected from the game. And so she's like she's like, oh my god. So she rushes over to the stadium and finds him in the locker room. And
how'd she get in there?
She goes up to the security guy who keeps, like, you know, who stands guard at the doors, and she's like, my boyfriend just got ejected from the game, I don't know what to do. She's, like, pretending to cry. And then she walks in the locker room, and Dean's like, oh my god, were you crying? And she was like, no, I was acting to get back here. I was acting.
You could have just said yes. You could have just said, I felt bad for you.
But then she, like, sits down and she's, like, caressing his face, and they're, like, having a whole thing. She's like, I'm not getting back together with Sean. I don't know what you're on about. Like, what the hell?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the exclusive conversation to hear is a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. So, as soon as... I think I wrote this down, but basically, like, immediately is acting, like, very coupley. Mm-hmm. Very coupley. He's calling her babe, and, like, she's like caressing his face, and like it's like a whole thing. And then they're talking about going home.
Don't do it.
They're talking about going home for Thanksgiving, and he's like, you know what? I'm actually going up to New York. Well, he's thinking in his head, like, I really wish we could spend some, like, uninterrupted time together, like, not hiding from anyone, because I'm getting kind of tired of, like, hiding from everybody.
I would never get tired of hiding from me.
No, like,
hiding is so fun.
So fun. So, he's like, well, you know what? If you're going to go up to New York for the holidays, why don't I just drive you, and then we can maybe hang out a couple days at my parents' crib. Nobody's home. They're all away for the holidays.
I'm rich as fuck, by the way.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm also rich as fuck. My family owns a hotel. And they're all in, like, I can't remember the place, Bermuda or Turks and Caicos or some fucking island.
Some rich person place.
Some rich person place, and they have a house there. And he's like, so my family's all there, but I couldn't go because I have a game. So, you know, we'll have the house to ourselves. And she's like, boots. So, boots. So he picks her up the next day. They're driving up, and on the drive, he tells her about all the stuff that happened with Miranda.
Yeah, the coach at the beginning of the book, who gives him a hard time, forces him to volunteer for the
Hurricanes.
For the middle school hockey team.
Yeah.
Which he's been doing this whole time, by the way, but
we don't need to get into that every 5 seconds, yeah. We get the, like, story about what happened between him and Miranda. And basically, honestly, there were so many elements to this story that, like, I was honestly having a hard time following it, and I was like, I could give a fuck. Because I was like, you did something. What did you do? You know?
No, like, and again, I don't even need to hear the story. You can't act the way that you act and expect me to take your side when it comes to women.
But somehow, some way, Al Kennedy tried to find a way to make him not at fault. So, so him and Miranda started dating in high school. And he was like, I was very upfront with her at the start that, like, you know, we kind of, like, talked about it. We're like, we're about to graduate. There's no reason for us to go into college still being together. So, like, we're together casually now. We're not going to keep dating past graduation. Which I was like, I can respect that. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good point. When you are high schoolers and you're just starting to date and you're about to go to college, like, why do you want to bring your high school person? But that's my opinion. Either way.
I mean, I think it's different when you're, like, 18. But, like, obviously, like, seeing 18-year-olds do it, it's like, uh-oh.
No, yeah, with hindsight,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, why would you need to continue into your whatever?
Yeah, easier said than done, for sure.
Either way, they're like, yeah, we're not going to keep dating after we graduate. Time goes on, and he's like, she starts to become really clingy, and she starts talking about our future, and starts to be like, oh, we're going to do this when we go to college, we're going to do that, and I keep being like, what do you mean? We're not going to be together, and she's like, right. And then they go to a party one night, and they're like, she starts being super jealous, and like, basically, I keep drinking and get super fucked up because I'm like, just like really frustrated with everything. And then she takes me upstairs and seduces me into having sex with her, but she didn't tell me that she was a virgin. And so then after that, she becomes even more attached to me and even more like she really like is like, we're gonna be together forever. Starts talking to me about getting married. And so then I'm like, okay, we need to break up because like we're not getting married. We're literally 18 years old. But so then he breaks up with her. But then this sends her into a depression to the point where she is calling him repeatedly and telling him that she is going to end her own life because of him. And he's like, ugh. And he's like, that's really worrisome to me, obviously. So then I ended up calling her dad to tell him, like, hey, this is what happened with Miranda. But I didn't know that she was a virgin. And then I guess she told her dad that she was a virgin and that I slept with her when I was drunk, which is why the dad punched me in the face in high school. That's the story.
Sure.
And like,
is he implying that he's been raped? Or do you think no?
No. I don't think that's what he's implying. But there's so many things here. It was like in the way the story was like, okay, he's not at fault. But then also the way the story is described, it was like it felt like Al Kennedy was really trying to make this girl be at fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but, like, I just don't believe, like, I feel like so many men, like, they say they're, like, even, like, what he's doing to Allie right now, like, you're saying you're casual, you're saying there's no feelings involved, but you're inviting her back to your house to have Thanksgiving, had Thanksgiving with you, you're calling her babe, like, you guys are exclusive, like, I feel like a lot of men do that, where it's like, and then they decide that they don't want to see you anymore, and then they turn around and be like, but I told you it was casual. I feel like that happens a lot, and sorry, but it does seem to happen. It does seem, I would love to be a woman in a male-dominated field and say that I've done that to somebody, but I haven't.
And from that, Allie goes, basically, she's like, you know what, that's so unfair, that's awful, I can't believe that happened to you, but this makes a lot more sense why you're so, like, upfront with people, and so, like, casual with everything. And he's like, yeah, like, I don't date freshmen because they're too clingy, and I'm
not because they're 18.
Literally, because they're too clingy, and I'm always super upfront with everybody that, like.
So you didn't learn your lesson from this, did you?
The lesson that he learned was that I need to make sure everyone knows that I am extremely casual and that I don't do long-term relationships.
But you're not being extremely casual, so that makes me think maybe you weren't being extremely casual with Miranda. I don't believe any man.
And then I was just like, why are we opening the conversation of, like, suicide and mental health and all this stuff in this super fucking unserious book? Like,
well, also, like, you're kind of making her seem like she's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like she clearly was 18 and very hurt.
And had a history of depression, he says, at some point. I don't know if it's now or later. But it's just like, we're opening a very, like, important and intense topic of conversation while also trying to make her seem like the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And while I feel like there was still some, like, she was going through a hard time and she had a history of depression and, like, trying to be like, it's not entirely her fault. It felt like there was an undertone of, like, this is supposed to be her fault.
No, because going back to the beginning of the book where the brother says, well, she didn't bother to do anything about it when you were younger, why would she do it now? Like, that's very specific phrasing.
Yeah. So, and it's like, so then, you know what, if I'm Miranda's dad, I kind of understand why he punched you in the face.
No, like, even if my daughter is in the wrong, I'm still punching you in the face. Because I'm sorry, I just don't, now this is just a tangent, but I don't believe any man when he says things were casual, I told her it was casual, she caught feelings. What were you doing?
Yeah.
I just don't believe you.
What did you do for her to catch feelings?
What did you do?
What did you do?
Because I know it wasn't the sex. I know it wasn't that.
Like, oh my god.
What did you do?
Anyways, so then they get to New York and he drops her off at her dad's house and she's like, you want to come over for Thanksgiving tomorrow? And he's like, oh, okay. So he shows up.
I thought that you were hell-bent on I don't do, like... And you want me to be on your side about this Miranda thing. I bet he was buying rings. That damn liar.
He was at Pandora. Like, giving her a forever promise ring. And
those rings that you can only buy one of online.
Yeah.
You have to present your ID.
But he shows up to Thanksgiving in a fucking, like, Armani suit, basically. And then the dad opens the door and he's, like, in sweats and he's like, this fucking jackass. Like, the dad instantly hates him.
And he has a correct opinion.
Yeah, the dad literally spends the entire evening, every time he opens his mouth, he goes, of course. He'd be like, I'm going to law school, of course. I'm a hockey player, of course. I was like, I'm really fucking with Joe, actually.
It's kind of like, if I were Allie, I would be having the time of my life, like, somebody needs to knock you down a peg.
Yeah.
You little asshole.
And Joe was doing that.
Thank you,
Joe. And then the next day, Dean invites her to come over to his house to spend the night. And he lives in the penthouse of the Hayward Hotel in New York, which is, like...
Very Chuck Bass-esque.
Very Chuck Bass. Like, his family, like, is rich as fuck. And this is a penthouse. It's giving, like, the Vanderwoodsons' apartment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And 3-story penthouse apartment in New York City, and she's like, he's giving her the grand tour, and her jaw's on the floor.
I would have been doing the splits.
And she does, because they then have sex in 800 different ways in 800 different locations. Like a nasty, nasty day these two have, like, truly.
Definitely has a yeast infection low-key after this. Not enough showering.
And he says some gross shit, like, she's like, squeezed me dry. Like, I couldn't even have sex if I wanted to. Like, I was like, okay, we get it.
That's what I'm saying about her being vulgar. It's like, just show us that just show us that they've had a good time.
Figure out another way. I don't know the way, but you can figure it out. You're the author.
I hate when they use the word milking.
Oh god, it's so disgusting. I hate that. So
milking is pretty awful.
So then after they've had sex all day long, he gets a call from Beau, and Beau's like, hey, I'm in town, like, we should go out tonight.
If I were her, I'd be on cloud fucking 9.
Oh, she is.
I get to stay in this nice ass apartment, and now I get to go out in Manhattan with rich people.
Oh, because then she's like, I didn't bring anything to wear, and he goes, not to worry. He takes her to his sister's room.
Yes!
He takes her to her sister's room, which is basically she describes it as the size of her dad's entire house is his sister's room that is just her closet. Not her room, her closet.
I love when they take creative liberties like this.
I know, right? Like, what? How could it possibly? But you know what? That's artistic and, like, you know, your artistic license. So the entire enormous ass room is just her closet filled with, like, only designer stuff. And she's like, I couldn't possibly borrow something. And he's like, you certainly can, because this is the stuff she left behind when she went to college. Not to mention the house that we have out in, like...
Okay.
I know, and I was like...
Just say I can take the dress. Just say I can take the dress.
He's flexing on her hard. But she's like, okay, period. She gets a whole outfit together. Which I was like, if I was Summer, am I okay with that? I don't know.
I would take a necklace, I would take earrings, I would take a purse, I would take shoes.
She has shoes, a bag, a dress. Like, she gets dressed up in his sister's clothes. And then they go to the bar. Her 2 friends from high school are also back in town for Thanksgiving because she grew up in New York, so they meet them at the bar. They get there. This was very reminiscent of that scene from the last Gods of the Game that we read, where they go to the bar and it's like, oh, like, we get taken to the section and we go to a section because, like, we're rich and famous. It was very much giving, like, that scene, like, very, like, you know,
I'm there.
You know?
The tension was there.
Yeah, like, they're just, like, getting it. She's living, like, the high life, you know what I mean?
It'll be the best day of my life going
and so they're all at the club, whatever. They get back from the club after having, like, a really good night, and Beau's too fucked up to go home, so they bring him back to the hotel with them. Mind you, repeatedly has told us he lives in a 3-story apartment in this hotel that is fucking huge. If they wanted to put Dean in his own hotel room in the hotel, they could. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If they wanted to stick him into... Yeah, Beau. If they wanted to stick him into one of the rooms in the apartment already,
there's plenty of space.
Mm-hmm. He goes ahead and lies down on a recliner and falls asleep. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. He couldn't make it to a bedroom, whatever. They decide to watch TV in the same living room.
If I were him, I'd be pissed as fuck. You know I'm drunk as fuck. I already wanted Taco Bell. You didn't get me Taco Bell, and now you're watching TV.
They're watching the French soap opera on the couch right next to me. I know there's a flat screen in every bedroom in this house. You guys really couldn't go somewhere else because then they start to fuck. They're doing bits on the couch. And they're both like, oh my god, like, shh, like, Dean, or Beau might be, like, awake, like, whatever. And Dean's like, it's fine, he's not awake. Like,
you might as well just wake Beau up. That's what you want.
Oh, because then they finish and Beau's like, y'all know I'm awake, right? And she's like, oh my god. And he's like, so, Beau goes, so, threesome? I had to laugh. I was like...
You want to write the threesome scene so bad. So just write it. Just write it.
Just do it. Like, what do you mean? Beau literally is like, threesome? And she's like, absolutely not. And he's like,
are you so sure? Now you want
now it's a problem. Yeah. You were just fucking right in front of me.
So it's okay when you sexually harass me.
But when I proposition a threesome, now everybody's got a problem.
Now I'm the bad guy.
So I was like, this is just fucking
ridiculous. Your neighbor's
hearing
this right now.
This is ridiculous. So they get back to school the next day, and he goes to drop her off, and they're talking about, like, you know, the raunchy weekend they had. And as they're having this conversation, kissing goodbye, one of Sean's frat brothers walks by, and she's like, oh, Bobby. Fog.
Whatever your name is.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, hey. And they kind of, like, have a little awkward encounter, and she's like, I'm gonna hear from Sean very soon.
Oh, fuck.
And that she does. Because later that night...
because you're fucking the town perv.
Later that night, she gets, like, there's, like, a ruckus knocking on the front door of the dorm. And it's Sean, and he's like, let me the fuck in. And then Garrett comes out of Hannah's room, and he's, you know, trying to be, like, you know...
Well, Garrett's huge, so I'd be scared of him too.
Yeah, but he's behind the door, and he's like, you better fucking leave. I'll call the cops. Like, you better fucking get out of here. And Sean is on that door, and he's like, I am not leaving. Let me the fuck in. And then finally, Allie's like, okay, just let him in. Like, he's not gonna do anything. It's
just
fine.
let him say what he wants to say.
So Garrett opens the door, he walks in, he's all mad, and then Garrett and Hannah are like, we're gonna go back in our room. And Garrett's like, if you try anything, I will kill you. Basically.
And Garrett's dead serious too.
Oh, and in Allie's POV, I'm pretty sure she's like, you know what? Garrett has, like, 60 pounds and, like, 10 feet on him or something. Like, he would die, so I don't think he's gonna try nothing crazy. So they go into the room, and basically, Sean's like, you fucking slut. He calls her a slut, and he's like, you're fucking a slut, so you must be a slut. Can't believe you're fucking Dean, that's crazy. He's going on her, like, going in on her bodily. To the point where he says, and I quote, I was a fucking idiot to try and get back with you. Why would I want to get back together with a disease-ridden whore?
See, when we say whore, it's funny.
This is not funny.
No, that's like...
Disease-ridden whore.
I had sex with one person. One. And even if I did go fuck 70 people, what does that have to do with you?
We're not together.
Also, I tried to break up with you, like 7 different times.
Yeah.
You didn't let me.
Yeah.
This is your fault. Me turning it around on him.
My jaw hit the floor.
I mean, she had to make sure we had no sympathy for Sean to be okay with.
Is crazy. You know that one audio from Euphoria where he's like, the porn that I found on your fucking computer made my jaw drop.
That was him in that moment?
That's what I felt like. I was like, whoa! Disease-ridden whore is crazy.
She had to make sure that we had no sympathy for Sean because she like needed to make sure we were okay with Dean and Allie. But it's like I didn't really. The thing is like the him basically telling her that she should be a housewife in Vermont was more than enough.
Yeah,
he didn't also need to call her a disease-ridden whore. That's fucking crazy.
As you like to say, cartoonishly evil. Like,
yeah,
enough.
I was already there. Like,
yeah,
you don't need.
I didn't like him. Like we're good. But then she's. That's when Garrett comes out his room and he's like, "You're done. You're done." And he's like, get the fuck out. So Garrett escorts him off the premises.
You're done.
You're done.
That's so funny. Maybe I will read this.
And then Hannah comes out and she's like, are you okay? Like, that's great. No, she's like, oh my god, have you heard all of that? Are you okay? And she's like, can you call Dean? And Hannah's like, Dean?
Oh, right, because they don't know.
They don't know. And she's like, what do you mean, Dean? And she's like, just call Dean. Just call Dean. And she's like, okay. So then... Dean runs over as quickly as possible, and they answer the door, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing here? And he pushes past them and goes to Allie's room. He opens the door, and he's like, oh my god, baby, are you okay? And those two are like, oh! They're both like, oh my god!
I'd be mad as hell if my friend kept this from me. I'd be mad as hell.
Like, what? He slams the door in their face, and he's like, be gone. And
hey, he just escorted Sean off the premises. You can at least tell him what's going on.
At least include in the conversation. But Dean closes the door and he's like, he comforts her. They have a conversation about being like boyfriend and girlfriend, basically. So the slippery slope was slippery and slopey, because now they're exclusively together. Wake up in the morning.
It's been like 3 weeks since she broke up with Sean, but whatever.
Wake up in the morning and Hannah and Garrett are in the kitchen and they're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Allie comes out.
How exciting that must be when your friend starts dating your boyfriend's best friend.
Best day ever. Although, they're actually kind of annoying about it. They're like, what the fuck, derogatory.
My smile dropping immediately.
Yeah.
If I were Hannah, I'd be like, eh.
I'd be so excited.
Because you know what? If you don't like Dean, then you don't like your boyfriend either, because your boyfriend is best friends with Dean.
You are the company you keep.
Yeah.
And Garrett's like, no, dude, this is gonna ruin the whole group dynamic. You can't do this.
You're gonna ruin the tour.
No, literally, it's like, this is gonna ruin the tour. You can't do this. Allie comes out of her room and Dean like grabs her ass in front of both of them and they like share a sloppy kiss. Okay, we get it. I believed you. I believed you. And Garrett and Dean leave to go to practice and Hannah basically spends the scene basically being like, whatever you do, don't do this. Don't do this, girl. Don't, please. And I was like, I like him. He's cool. Like, I like him as a person. He's really sweet and we get along. And she's being like, I actually really.
Oh my god. I will tell you this. She's better than me because if it were me and you said whatever you do, don't do this, I would say okay. I guess I'm not doing it then. I don't know.
Hannah's like,
if your friend is looking at you like this, like, just don't do it.
Don't do it. So Hannah's like, please, girl, please. And she's like,
we already suddenly harassed Bo together, so unfortunately it's too late.
It's a done deal. And Hannah's like, okay, but do you love him? And she thinks in her internal monologue.
I broke up with Sean 3 weeks ago. What
in
kind
her
of question
internal
is
monologue,
that?
she's like, I don't know if I love him yet. Like, I don't get that squishy feeling when I think about him, but like, I don't really like him. I think that's enough for now. Yeah, it is. You don't have to love him just to like prove it to your friend that like you actually like him. But then like one chapter later, she goes to meet him at the Hurricanes practice, and she sees him on the ice training that little girl, and she immediately is like, that squishy feeling.
Okay.
I think I'm getting it.
No, but remember when he was the town perv and when you guys harassed
But like immediately jumping to, I think I love him, after yesterday being like, I don't know if we're there yet, girl. Okay. Sure, whatever.
It's just so funny that Hannah was like, she was like, please no.
Anything but this! So, and then we get a scene of him, literally she's doing her makeup after they have sex all morning, and he starts touching himself under the blanket. I was like, you've got to back it up, please.
It's always something.
It is always something. Enough. Why are you touching yourself? He goes, well, your mouth is making that O shape when you put on your mascara, and it's like basically ready for
okay, you know, you
can. I would find this man so insufferable.
That explanation is worse than the touching himself, I think.
Yeah, because he explains him the reason why he's touching himself is that her mouth is ready for his dick to be put in it.
Can't you just say, you look hot all the time, and I'm attracted to you all the time?
You're so attractive. You're so beautiful.
No, of course it's not that.
Not that.
No, never.
Oh, and then Summer shows up, unannounced, his sister, and Allie starts to be like, who the fuck are you? And Summer's like,
Where is this?
I'm his sister, at his house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they come back from practice or dinner or whatever, and Summer's just there, and she's like, who the fuck? Because she runs up and hugs Dean immediately, and she's like,
Well, she has every right to be nervous.
Right? She's like, who is this?
This group of men is the most desirable group of men ever, apparently.
Ever in the history of
actually,
college.
To be fair, I do love.
What's his face? Tucker. I love Tucker.
We're so simple.
I love Tucker. And we get a couple, like a chapter or two of like basically Dean goes to a game, and the whole time he's at the game, he keeps getting texts from Allie being like, Summer and I are hanging out, Summer and I are doing this, Summer and I are doing that, they're bonding. And then he comes back from the game, and Allie clocks him over the head with a bowl of soup because she thinks he's an intruder. Mind you, they were at his house. She calls the police and then bangs him over the head with a bowl of soup. I was like, what's going on?
I think this, it's hard to write a rom-com. Isn't it?
Must be tough.
It's hard to be funny, isn't it?
Yeah. And so then he like is so fucking, he's like really pissed, and he like is like, Summer, go to sleep, you're done.
Summer hits him with the soup?
No, Allie does, but she's there with Summer, so he's like, Summer, go to sleep, you're done. Allie, meet me upstairs, I'm pissed. And he goes to take a shower. And she's waiting out, he's like about to reprimand her. He comes out of the shower to reprimand her about this.
I'm about to get pissed, aren't I?
And then he's like, you're lucky I love you, because like, otherwise I'd be so pissed. And she's like, oh, wait, you love me? And he's like, don't make me say that shit again. Like,
okay.
he's like pissed that he said it. He's like, oh, I guess I did say it. Like, whatever. I was like, this is the part where I was starting to be like, what's going on? Things are derailing really fast. Things really derail from here.
She was just having fun.
She was just writing. She was putting pen to paper. And
she had those pages due.
Anyways, it's a holiday break now. And
this is crazy that this much has happened before even Christmas time.
Right? She goes back home for the holidays, and her dad is like, bro, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. And she's like, that's my boyfriend. And he's like, fuck
if everybody in your life is telling you fuck that guy, just like, it's not worth it.
And then the dad is like, he's not someone who can handle this tough stuff. Like, he's not going to be able to hack it. Which is obviously trying to set up, like, whatever the third act breakup or issue is going to be, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, he's not going to be able to hack it. He's the kind of guy, like, when things are going well for him, he's great. He's rich. He can always afford to help you. He can always afford to take care of you. But what if one day he loses all his riches? What then? He's not going to be able to do anything. Like, he's not going to be able to stick it out through the tough times. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she's like, you don't know him. Not too much on him. Then they get back to school, and they come back from practice one day, and Dean comes home, and all the boys are sitting around the table, and he's like, what's going on? Why so grim? And they're like, Bo Maxwell is dead.
The concept of her writing Bo Maxwell from the start just to set up this third act breakup.
She included Bo Maxwell in the first book just to
set up the third act breakup.
Why did Bo Maxwell need to die?
I don't know. Why did Bo and Maxwell
Why are we
need to
touching?
die?
Why are we touching on like grief in this?
We
this
touch
book?
on
grief in such a way that really upsets me. So, Bo Maxwell dies in a very gruesome way, might I add. He gets into a car accident and his neck snaps.
Oh.
And obviously, like, this is his best friend. Having a really tough time with the death of his best friend. Obviously. He turns to drinking and drugs pretty quickly, which...
He's also very young. Like, I feel like grief is not only hard, but this is also like a time in your life where I feel like a lot of people abuse substances.
I mean, yeah. And like, grief shows up in so many different ways for every person. You know what I mean? And okay, well basically, in the next day or so, they have a service at the school. And Allie shows up to the service. Dean isn't there. And she's like... She basically immediately has a thought that is like, if Bo's family can show up, why can't Dean just show up for this? Like, why can't he just like figure it out? Okay. And then she immediately is like, wait, I feel really guilty for thinking that. Like, I shouldn't judge the way he grieves. Okay, yeah, good. You self-corrected. And she gets back and he's like still wearing his suit, like was planning to go, but he was like, I just couldn't get there. Like, I can't believe Bo's dead. Like, I can't. Obviously really struggling with the death of his best friend, who just died a couple days ago.
Also, like, maybe even the first time he's ever experienced death like this before. Like,
yeah.
especially something like unexpected, like, I feel like, you know...
Tragic accident, tragic death, someone very close to you. He's never lost someone in his life before. That is going to rock your shit. She basically, like, within the next couple chapters, it's like him basically, like, not being able to show up in various aspects of his life, understandably, because he's grieving his friend. He stops going to the hurricane, he stops coaching. He, like, is drinking a ton, doing a lot of drugs, smoking all the time, and she's like, I'm trying to be there for him, doing the best I can, but, like, it's tough. And
He doesn't want her there for him, kind of?
No, it's not even that.
Oh.
She's just, like, she's pissed that this is how he's choosing to cope. And... It all kind of comes to a head because she has the opening night of her show that she's been working on for this entire book. And she reminds him at one point, and he's like, yeah, for sure, I'm going to be there. Opening night happens, she sees all her friends in the crowd. He's not there. So she goes straight to his house, and she opens the door, and she's like, there's a whole group of men in here. The whole football team is here. All of Bo's old classmates, or teammates. And she finds Dean, and he's, like, on Molly or something. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I just had my show. And he's like, fuck, I completely forgot. They just came over, and they wanted to, like, talk about Bo and, like, you know, just, you know, celebrate him or whatever. And she's like, no, you're a fucking wreck, and I can't deal with this anymore. So you need to figure your life out. There's also a scene where she goes to the coach of the Hurricanes, and she's like, Can he get his job back, like, once he gets back here? Like, is it possible? And the coach is like, I know he didn't send you to do this, but he's always welcome back. Like, I know that his friend died. He told me his friend died. So we're good. Yeah. So he goes to talk that little... strange. It's I don't know. It was very strange to me. And she kept being like, when my mom died, this is how I handled it. And when my mom died, this is how I did things. And that's totally fine for you. If that's how however you see fit to grieve in situations, that's, you know, everyone needs to do things in their own way when you're grieving someone in your life who passed away.
Yeah, he also was trying to show up for his friends that were also grieving in that moment too.
Right. I was like, I don't love this.
Maybe I'll even acknowledge it's a little bit of a problematic way to show up for your friends when they're grieving, but...
They're 21 and, you know, whatever. And of course, is she right? Is she valid in feeling like, I'm upset that you didn't come to my show and I'm worried about, like, the way you're handling this? For sure. But
breaking up with him is great.
She breaks up with him and is like, you gotta figure this out. Like, she starts guilting him too, being like, you can't show up for the Hurricanes, you can't show up for Dakota, you can't show up for me. Like,
Dakota's a little girl on the team.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm sorry, like, I'm doing my best. And she basically is like, I'm not doing this with you anymore.
Your best's not good enough.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is really tough to read. Like, you know, like, obviously maladaptive ways to cope with grief, but he's 21, 22, and, like, I feel like when it comes to, like, grieving someone in your life, whether it be someone who passes away or otherwise, it happens in so many different areas of your life. You take the time that you need. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Everyone's gonna take a different amount of time. And this is only 3 weeks after Beau's death that this happens. It's like, you gave him really no time to, like, process that his best friend just died. Yeah. You know what I mean?
In a tragic and sudden way.
Yeah, right. How would you feel if this had happened to Hannah?
Yeah,
not good. And how would you feel if he was like, you gotta get your shit together, girl.
Yeah.
I went and tried to get your job back. Dakota is counting on you and she's mad at you. Like, girl.
Dakota probably doesn't know what happened because she's like 6.
Are you not understanding that my best friend just passed away in a tragic accident?
Yeah.
And for you to be like, well, Beau's family went back to work. Beau's family is able to move on. It's like, you don't know Beau's family. And if Beau's family is able to do that, that's fine. But you also don't know them, and they're probably also still grieving while trying to, like, move on with their lives. We're all taking our own time.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
That really upset me. I was like, this is so not a good, like, way to, you know, get into what grief is. On his side, it's like maybe talking about grief and that, like, you can go down this path of, like, what he was going down. But from her perspective, how to support someone who's going through grief, I was like, I'm disappointed in this.
Yeah.
You know? So, that was that. And then the next morning, he goes to practice and they have drug testing. So he has to tell the coach that he's on he did Molly last night, and he gets kicked off the team.
Oh God, that defense coach hates him so bad either way.
Boots hates him. So yeah, he gets kicked off the team for the rest of the season, but, like, they're graduating, so there is no new season. Mama, there is no plane. You know, he's done.
Does he gaff?
He doesn't really gaff because, like, the whole book, they are talking about how, like, the team is doing awful during the season and they're not going to make it to, like, the Frozen Four. The Frozen Four. And so, like, the whole team.
He's like, I've got bigger fish to fry right now.
He's like, what does it really matter? We don't have anything really left to do.
Yeah.
So he's upset, but not, like, dying.
It's not soul crushing.
Yeah. 3 days later, he asks Ali to get coffee, and he's like, I'm really sorry. He apologizes, whatever. And she's like, okay, are you trying to get back together? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, can you forgive me? And she goes, I wouldn't hold a grudge. Like, of course I forgive you, but we can't get back together right now.
But you know what? You wrote here that she has to focus on herself. Yeah, you should have done that way long ago.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, this part was frustrating to me because I was like, I agree with that. Like, you should focus on yourself right now, post breakup with Sean.
Yeah.
But at this point now, after
after I
just read chapters of you being horrible to your boyfriend who's going through the worst grief he's ever known up to this point in his life.
I'm not really on your side anymore.
Allie.
Yeah.
And so, and it's like, why are you now you have me sympathizing with him? With him?
I just realized that. Oh no! We're town pervert sympathizers!
I was just like, what on earth? So he's like, okay, so are we getting back together or not? And she's like, I just need some time.
He's focused.
Yeah. I just need some time, give me some time, I'll get back to you. He's like, alright, cool. Like, I honestly expected you to be like, fuck off. So, this works for me.
Yeah.
And then he starts going on his apology tour. So literally, when I tell you, it's like a checklist he has. He goes and starts with the Garrett and all the hockey players, and they're like, "Dude, it's fine. We're literally losing boots. Like, it doesn't fucking matter." He goes and apologizes.
We fucking suck anyway.
Yeah, we suck. He apologizes to Hannah.
For what?
For upsetting her best friend. I don't know. Hannah, why are you in it?
I know Hannah was like sitting there like, fucking knew it. It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. She thought back to 3 weeks ago when she was like,
but she just has a smile on his face.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, but
he goes and apologizes to the coach and of the Hurricanes, and the coach is like, "Girl, it was never an issue. Like, I know
the only person who made an issue was Allie."
Literally, he's like, "You were grieving your best friend. I completely understand. Your position is here for you. You're totally welcome back." He apologizes to the skaters, like the middle schoolers, and they're like, "Yeah, girl, who give a fuck? Nice to have you back." He apologizes.
We didn't notice you were gone, babe.
He apologizes to Dakota, and she also is like, it's chill, whatever.
She's 6, by the way.
Right. She's like, I don't even remember when you weren't here. And then he literally goes on a full apology tour to everyone he's ever known. He calls Miranda He calls Miranda. He gets his friend to find her phone number.
If you
calls her, and Miranda's like, who the fuck is this? And he's like, it's Dean. And she's like, what the fuck? We are literally graduating college. I haven't heard from you in 5 years.
No, like, I do feel like sometimes it is more selfish, like, to, like, there is one boyfriend that I had that it's like, I genuinely think it would be unkind of me to reach out to apologize now because, like, you have your own life now.
Leave me alone.
As sorry as I may feel, I'm not ever reaching out to you ever again. Because that is more selfish to put it back in your mind than it would, like, you're not seeking out an apology to make sure that person knows that you know that you were wrong. You're reaching out to clear your own conscience.
And, like, I appreciate the fact that he was, I guess, going on an apology tour that he felt he needed
to go on. Leave that alone.
Not that he really needed to go on an apology tour because he was grieving. But either way, the Miranda apology, I was like, this is for you. Because also, she, at the beginning of the book, he sends her a friend request on Facebook. Never to be heard from again. And halfway through the book, he's like, I sent her a friend request on Facebook, but I haven't heard back. Girl, she got that friend request. She just didn't want to add you as a friend. Of course. Yeah. So the fact that you found one of your friends to go and track down her phone number to call her is like, she clearly didn't want to hear from you if she didn't respond to your friend request. Leave her alone.
Leave her alone.
But, you know, he calls her and she's like, okay, like, yeah, it's fine. Like, that was years ago and, like, I've moved on from it. I told my dad what actually happened. I was like, my morals are all over the place. Like, there are so many places for me to be like, what's this? What's this? I can't.
She's like misdirecting us so that way we don't beat Dean so much. She's like, look over here. Over here. She's jiggling the jello in front of my face. And they're like, wait.
Constantly, I'm like, wait, but I don't feel bad, and I do feel bad, and I like, everything is just like a kind of a mess, and so I'm like, I don't even know how to feel anymore. I just have to fucking get through it and read it.
Leave Miranda alone. That's my opinion.
But they get off the phone, and he's like, I will never contact Miranda again. That's the end of us, and
good.
We're closing that chapter. And you know what? I could have told you before you called her that she didn't want to hear from you. But he goes home for the weekend to New York. While he's in New York, Allie gets a phone call from her dad, and her dad's like, I fell down, and her dad has MS, and so he's like, I fell down.
She's fed up with this story. She's done.
At this point, I think after like the way that the grief situation was handled with Allie, I was like, I want to be done with this.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
it's also crazy that like at the beginning of this book, like we started with jealous sex scene fucking outside of the bar. How did we get here? She calls Dean and she's like, I know you're in New York. Can you go check on my dad? He goes to the house and the dad's like, are you fucking kidding? I'd be mad as hell.
Are you joking?
I'd be mad as hell.
And
especially because, by the way, while all this is happening, Dean is also blonde. To make matters worse.
Literally. So he goes there and he's like, sorry, Allie sent me to come check on you and I'm spending the night. Spending the night.
I'd rather fall down the stairs again.
I can't even throw myself down the stairs again. No thanks. But he spends the night and they kind of bond a little bit.
Did we need this?
No, it was unnecessary. He comes home and Allie in her POV is like, you know what? I'm ready to forgive him. So she goes, she's waiting for him at his house when he gets back from New York. And she's like, hey, missed you.
Does she ever apologize?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
Not that I remember, but I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but I don't recall that. And she basically tells him, like, she did that audition for that show in LA, but she's not taking it. And he's like, oh, that's crazy, because he pulls out, remember how Sean pulled out 2 tickets to go to LA? She has a deja vu moment, because he pulls out, again, an envelope with 2 tickets to go to LA. And she's like, I'm not going to LA with you. And he's like, it's not for me and you, it's for you and your dad. Because I was like, that's kind of sweet.
Wait a minute, we need to remember who the real enemy is.
But he's like, I know you're so worried about leaving your dad in New York, so I thought, like, if you want to go to LA, I talked to your dad when I was there yesterday, and he is more than willing to move with you to LA if that will make you more comfortable to go and, like, chase your dream. Really sweet. But then she's like, no, I don't want to go to LA. I don't want to do this. I decided I'm not doing the show. I don't like the character. It's not right for me. It's not happening. And he's like, well, shit, I bought these on non-refundable tickets.
I bought these on Spirit Airlines and they just closed.
Fuck. So, and then she's like, yeah, no, it's not happening. And then he's like, okay, well, also, I'm going to be a teacher now. And she's like, and he's like, yeah, I talked to coach.
Then why make him go into Harvard Law? What was the point of that?
I don't know.
And her beefing with the first girl, Sabrina.
Him beefing with Sabrina, right, I don't know. And the idea of him having a beef with a woman. Can you please? So...
And she was always dunking on him, too.
Yeah, she was.
She was always
That's why he was so pissed.
Yeah, you're right. If she wasn't dunking on him so good, he wouldn't have cared.
She was always buckets every time. So he's like, I talked to Coach, and then that's why I went home to New York for the weekend and talked to my dad and talked to my brother and basically be like, the law is not for me. I'm really good at teaching. I like working with kids. This is what I'm doing. And he found a position at a private school in New York to be a phys ed teacher and then coach a middle school girls hockey team.
I hope that family money goes far because she's about to be a struggling actress and he's going to be a teacher.
I thought the same thing, but then I was like, oh, but he's rich, so.
I guess they've got that family money.
And you know what?
If I were her, I'd be like, but the penthouse.
They still have the penthouse.
Okay.
They're like boots rich. It's giving like Nate Archibald vibes. You know what I mean?
Kind of gets to do what he wants.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I appreciate that he like chose a path of doing something like being a teacher as opposed to just going into being a lawyer just for the money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he made it very clear at the beginning. He was like, everybody else in my family seems to love this, and I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. But he
Sabrina
really enjoys
comes
working
and
with
dunks
kids.
on him.
Yeah, literally. But he enjoys working with kids, and so he found his path. And so then they make up. They start having sex, and before they start having sex, she goes, "I need little Dean."
Ew. That's his weenie.
Ugh. They let go of an epilogue this time and just made it the 35th chapter just a couple months later.
Okay, nice.
So, you know, because like, you know, it would have been the same situation, just removing the word epilogue made it a little bit more digestible, you know?
Pisses me off a little bit less.
Yeah. So it's April, they're about to graduate, they're walking down the street together on campus, and he's like, I already got a job for next year, I'm going to be working at this school, the job is mine, I'm moving back to New York, and she got offered a role.
Okay.
She got offered a role based on the play, the off-Broadway play she did. That director decided he liked her so much that he offered the role without even having her audition for it. This is for an HBO series that is shooting in New York. Look how that worked out. So they're both going to New York next year.
What the hell? Sure.
Sure. I know.
What else
I
can we
have a
put in
feeling
this?
that any aspiring actress read that and their eye twitched a little bit.
For sure.
Like what?
Yeah.
But they're walking down the street and Sean walks up and he's like, "Hey, I wanted to apologize." And she's like, "I hear your apology."
Can you stop?
She literally goes, "I hear your apology. Let's not ever talk again."
No, because
She's
you
like,
already
"You're
apologized. So you know what else? Also, that
He didn't
tells me about
apologize.
you, Sean.
This is post him coming to her dorm and calling her a disease-ridden whore.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Right. So he's apologizing for calling her a disease.
Yeah, he's
not,
like,
not
"I'm
everything
really
else.
sorry. Yeah, I'm really
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
Like, I need to apologize." And she's like,
That's what I'm saying
"Thanks for
about,
your
like,
apology, but like, we won't ever be communicating again."
That's
Which
what
I
I'm
was like,
saying about, like, again, like, just leave her alone.
Leave her be.
Like,
Leave her
you
be.
don't need to apologize for everything.
Yeah,
You really don't.
And they walk away, and then guess who fucking shows up? One of the girls from the threesome in the first chapter.
She was like, they're gonna call me misogynistic for making this girl propose 2 orgies and have nothing else happen to her.
So she walks by and she's like, "Hey, Dean," and he's like, "Sup?" And I was like, "Why is this included? Like, why?" It was like another reminder of like his Casanova ways in the past, but
Yeah, girl, I remember.
I recall.
I was there. You forced me.
Yeah, you forced me to stay
You forced everyone.
Right. So then later that night, they're back at the house and they're in the house by themselves and they're watching a movie on the couch and he comes downstairs completely fucking naked and she's like, "Why are you naked?" And he's like, "Well, why shouldn't I be naked?" And then he sits on the couch, bare ass, puts a blanket over his middle, and then she basically like starts to give him a handy while they're trying to pick out a movie, which I was like, the casual handy while we're trying to pick out the movie.
What a waste of words, too.
No,
because it's like, I guess it's
truly.
supposed to, like, represent, like, how sex can be, like, casual when you're in, like, a loving, committed relationship, but it's like... But this is a romance novel, though.
I was stuck on the bare ass on the communal couch. And then
Communal?
they're in the living room.
Oh, this is still at the...
This is back at the boys' house. Yeah. It's April. They haven't graduated yet. So this is back at the boys' house.
I was picturing this is... I forgot it was an epilogue.
Yeah. We're still at school. They are yet to graduate.
And that couch, remember, is covered in green goo.
Yeah. And so he's bare butt.
Mysteriously sticky.
Mind you, it's his green goo, so he doesn't really mind. And he sits down,
You're right.
bare ass, on the couch. In walks Tucker. And Tucker is like, "Hey, where's everyone?" And he's like, "I don't know." Mind you, fully naked still. Her hand is still wrapped around his shit, I'm pretty sure. Like,
Ew.
I was never told.
Poor Tucker!
I was never told her hand was removed, so I could only assume that her hand was still there. And Tucker's like, okay, I wanted to tell everyone at the same time, but I guess I'll just tell you first. Having a baby. And Dean's like, what? He's like, Dean stares at his stomach for a couple seconds, then he's like, wait, I forgot men can't have babies. Who's having your baby?
I thought he got into Harvard. Like, why are you making him dumb? He's not dumb.
No, he's not dumb. And he's like, because the entire book, he's like, Tucker's being kind of secretive. Tucker's clearly seeing someone, like, what's happening? So he's like, who's having your baby? And he's like, Sabrina, the girl who keeps dunking on him. And he says that, and Allie starts fucking laughing. She bursts into laughter.
Wait a minute.
Why are you laughing?
Does that mean Sabrina's not going to go to Harvard Law? This is important.
No! I want her to go to Harvard Law!
Continue dunking on him.
Yeah! Oh god. Okay. Well, anyways, that's how the book ends.
Well, we're never gonna find out because we're not reading it. I guess we'll just have to wait for season 4.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how the book ends with Allie laughing in Tucker's face after he said, "I'm having a baby with Sabrina."
I think she's laughing at.
She's
Dean.
laughing at Dean, but I was like, if I'm Tucker, I'm like, can you not laugh?
No, seriously. Like, frankly, it's not his Sabrina anymore. That's my Sabrina.
Yeah. It's not funny. Why are you laughing? She's laughing at Dean because she's like, it's not funny now, is it? Or she says something like that at the end, or like,
it's not funny
it's
now.
It's not
is
exciting
it?
now, is it? But can you not laugh right now? I'm telling you something serious.
That's true.
I'm 21 and I'm having a baby.
Also, like, what if I was telling you guys that to like maybe see what my options are?
What if I'm coming to you to have a really honest and deep conversation about like fatherhood and like if I can
handle that at 21 years old.
Like, wrap it up. All right. I should have never told y'all. And that's literally how the book ends.
Poor Tucker.
I love Tucker.
He cooks for everyone in the kitchen.
I know.
He makes a
Sweetie.
bit of pink lemonade.
Yeah. He makes soup and grilled cheese.
What's your rating?
I literally gave this a 0.5.
I gave it 1 soup and grilled cheese out of 5.
Oh no, I think I gave it a 0.75 because you can get really specific with the ratings on Fable. So I give it a 0.75.
I didn't finish it, so I don't think it's fair for me to rate it. But overall, the first one I feel like was entertaining. This one just felt silly.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Felt flat.
I really do have, like, I don't think I can overstate how, like, that sex scene outside of the bar, that should have really done it for me.
Yeah, and it did.
The fact that I just got the ick from it.
That should tell me all I need to know. Yeah, there were a lot of things. I feel like after a certain point, it was just like things kept going downhill so fast.
No, and really, truly, how did we get to the end of that book from where we started?
I was like, you lost me so hard and never got me back. So, and I was barely there to start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because the book starts, by the way, with him about to have a threesome.
So excited for the next season, but yeah, this was awful.
1 soup and grilled cheese out of 5.
Yeah. We don't know what we're reading next.
I'm gonna pick a sapphic book for us, because it's Pride Month.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset that this is our first read of Pride Month.
Yeah.
But I mean, we had to do, I wasn't not gonna film this, because it can't
read
be for nothing.
I read it, we have to talk about it.
It can't be for nothing.
It couldn't have been for nothing. No.
So, that'll be next.
Happy Pride Month!
Happy Pride Month, guys!